Hello, welcome back to Single Mom on a Farm. This is question and answer number 9, I'm pretty sure. So this is super fun. Thank you for asking so many wonderful questions. I'm really happy to be here answering them today. I just have one item of housekeeping, and that is someone sent me a really cool, I don't know if it was an email or letter in the mail about wanting to move to my area. And I can't find it anywhere. I went through all the emails and the comments and our paper letters we've gotten in the mail, and I can't find it. I know where I was when I was reading it, in like which room of the house, but I can't remember if it was on a computer or a regular letter. So please email me back. Email me, marcy@singlemomonafarm.com, so I can respond to it. It might have been a letter, and then I don't know what happened to it. So I'll keep looking. But anyways, that would be exciting, and I wanted to talk to you. So if you're listening, email me. Okay, jumping into the questions. The first one is, would you ever think of redoing one of the extra bedrooms now that your older kids are away for maybe a week at the farm, complete with breakfast, like your bed and breakfast type situation? Or maybe remodeling one of your outbuildings for a B&B to earn extra income? I guess if I had children, I would maybe want to rethink that idea because of possibly getting some unsavory guests, but it's just a thought. Here in Colorado, we have a lot of ranches that take in guests, and they all join in the pursuit of the experience of hands-on ranching for a week. It's always fun for families with children, especially if they're city people, to see what it's like to live in the country with animals, domestic and wild, like chickens and ducks and raccoons and stuff. So yes, this is lots of different questions in here. I have lots of different thoughts about this. So first thing is, like, when you said extra bedrooms, like I don't really have any extra bedrooms, but I know what you mean. So actually when Alexis first left, then I was going to use her bedroom as that. And I actually did put it on Airbnb, and I never have gotten any interest in it. So I need to see if that listing is still active. Maybe it's not even active anymore. But yes, I was following along those lines exactly. A friend told me to do that, and that I could specify like only a single, like a single person, lady. I don't know if you can do that, because I don't want to have like any single guys, especially like in my house like that. If it was just like a young couple, maybe we could put them in Tilly's bedroom if they had kids. I can't remember how I set it up, so I'm glad you reminded me that I did post that on Airbnb, and I had thought of doing that for her bedroom. We had the 3 girls in the other bedroom, and so 2 of them, Caitlin and McKenna, quickly moved in to Alexis's bedroom. That was also Kylie and Madeline's bedroom. So, but that is kind of the only nice bedroom we have. We have 2 boys in another bedroom. And Thomas and Tilly each have their own room, but it's one bedroom and it's like split in 2. So it's really like they're kind of like sharing, but there's like a half a wall in between it. So like I don't really want to put them up there or combine those 2. So Caitlin and Kenna's room was like the only best one, but I would hate for them to have to move out like permanently and have that as like always an Airbnb guest. I don't know. But yes, that had been an idea. If they could like stay in our house with us and just experience farm life. I think a lot of people would really like that. And the remodeling one of the outbuildings, yes, I had that same idea also. Actually, right when we moved here, I had some friends come over and they were helping me figure out, and I sketched it all out, how I would like insulate it and drywall it. It needs electricity and plumbing, but I had the decorations aspect figured out, like where I'd put the beds and the little fridge and microwave. I wouldn't have a sink. I guess I'd have to do plumbing. How I could have like little lofts for like kids sleeping quarters and stuff like that. So I was excited about it. But it would take a lot of money to insulate it, especially if I did electricity and plumbing. And then I guess the main drawback is that it is right by our sunroom. And so I just feel like people coming and going, like I don't know where they park. If they park in our parking lot, by next to our cars, and just like walk around our house. And if we just see them coming and going, if it would kind of invade our privacy a little bit of hanging out in the sunroom, we'd be seeing them. They'd be watching us. We'd be kind of watching them. So there's that. And it is a storage building for us. Like it's a really nice storage building. We haven't had any problems with bugs or mice in there at all. So all the kids keep their stuff from all of the older kids keep all their childhood stuff. And then we have like all of our holiday decorations and some extra like mattresses, like the bunk bed rails, since we have the bunk beds down right now, like window units and fans, and then the dehydrator, like the main things we keep in there, and some winter gear. So I do have to find another place for that, and it's really convenient to have our stuff right there. I've also thought of like redoing the barn. That would be a little bit better idea because they could park by the barn, and not see us as much up here at our house. But again, I'd have to put a bathroom there unless people want to like share our one bathroom with us. So that's been kind of the main holdup. One of my sisters or my sister-in-law said to do like a compost toilet and like an outdoor shower. So that's an idea. And we could even do the no electricity, no plumbing, just say this is pretty much like a tent, a yurt type of thing. So we could go that route too. So I think the main holdup besides like already using that shed for something is just what you said, getting an unsavory guest. Like, can I specify only young couples or single people, single, women, elderly people? Like, I wasn't sure how that would work. And then just our privacy of having somebody here. And we kind of moved here so that we could run around by ourselves, in swimsuits and just be able to do what we want. Slam doors, or not have to be really careful about staying quiet. We can bang on the piano, those kinds of things. But I guess you have a really good idea, and I really like that you have that experience in Colorado with the ranches taking guests, the hands-on ranching. So I don't know. I'm sure they're all married. Like if I had a husband, I definitely would. So I don't know how it would be for me to be single, and I have to ask the kids again. That would be something I would totally need their help with. Like just constantly keeping up, changing the sheets and cleaning and vacuuming it and cleaning that microwave and that fridge, and how much it would impact our ability to go camping for 4 days, or if we have to be here to clean that Airbnb. I really like just being super flexible, which is why I'm trying to just do online stuff only, where it only affects me. If I don't do a YouTube video for 3 weeks, nobody else, you guys might care or something, but nobody's on me to do it. And they can be buying my curriculum all the time, even when I'm sleeping, when I'm camping. What I've already published is just ready to go. I don't have to do anything for it. So that's kind of nice. But I do love the idea for if we did just specify a week in the summer, like you said. I've thought of doing yoga camps here. People can come and do yoga, milk our cow when we had our cow. Yeah, feed the chickens, hike through the woods. I have really explored a lot of those ideas because I really want to share it with people sometimes. And sometimes I'm like, this is the most beautiful place ever. I wish everybody can experience this. I really would love to have my nieces and nephews come out. I haven't gotten the parents to bring them. I just really want a nieces and nephews camp for a week, and they can just all run around and play and feel so free, because it brings a lot of joy to me. So far what I've been doing along this line is my nature camps, which I do in the summer and I've done for fall break. And it's usually just 9 to 2 where kids come and we just can play. We can hike the woods. Sometimes I have a few cool forest games that we play, but mostly I just want them to play by themselves. I mean, not by themselves, but just be really immersive in, let's build a fort, guys. Let's play cops and robbers. Let's, just wherever they can just go play without adults intervening and supervising. I'm there watching them, but where they just have all day, hours to play imaginative games. And then also it's fun to watch them whoa, look at a bug, just to see what their different interests are. What stands out to them, what they haven't seen before, what they haven't done before. The kids are totally afraid of the zip line, or bugs or grass or whatever. And the kids that are totally cool with it. And some of them know more than I do. They know how to fish and hunt and trap and and skin animals. They know all this stuff, some of these kids around here. And so like you said, the city people, it'd be really fun. I kind of have a dream of having a camp where New York City kids or Washington, D.C. kids, underprivileged kids can just come here and camp for a week and just play and just be a child, without having that pressure of constantly walking to school every day and do, just teachers after them, parents after them, all that pressure, but just play and be free. So I don't know if I'd have to build a bunkhouse for them. I'd probably have to get other adults here. You don't want to get certified. I don't want to have liabilities and things like that. So it gets a little tricky. It might be more fun for me to work at someone else's camp where that followed my same philosophies of lots of free play, lots of just odds and ends, sticks and wood that they can just build whatever they want and play in sandboxes whenever they want and do some zip lining or ropes courses or things like that. I would love to live on site and help with those kinds of camps for kids out of the city. I'd love to build my own. I'm just not sure if that's feasible by myself, and I don't want to take too much away from the kids, which is why I'm trying to do my own blog and my own curriculum and my own homeschool coaching calls and mother coaching calls and stuff that doesn't take so much of their work. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. The next question, why don't you live in Utah where you'd be close to your family and cousins and parents? So first off, I don't have any family in Utah at all. It's all Nathan's family that lives there, but it's not all of them. It's just 3 siblings. He just has 3 siblings there in Utah. His parents and 3 other siblings live in Florida. And I think he has another sibling in Arizona. So we had lived in Utah when Nathan got a job out there, and it's really fun to live by his family, some of his siblings and everything. And I left because it's just too expensive. I could never afford a house there, to buy a house. They're close to $500,000, $1 million, just a basic house. Nice houses. They all have good basements, good, they're very nice houses. I will admit that, but it was too expensive. And so when we were renting, it was $2,500 a month, and it was going up to $3,200 a month. When I decided, like, I've got to leave. I can't buy a house. I just really feel like we need the stability of a house bought. I need to be able to have it paid off. Not have any mortgage or monthly expenses when I'm older. So the cost was the biggest thing. Is that the rent would always go up. I would always be moving to probably a cheaper place, like a cheaper, trying to keep, a cheaper rent. And so I'd probably go into like a dumpier and dumpier kind of house as the kids left the house so that I could stay within budget. I didn't like the idea of moving around all the time like that because, I want stability for my kids. We had an awesome neighborhood. And so I felt like I cannot stay in this neighborhood for $3,200 a month. And we loved our neighbors, which are the neighbors that Caitlin and McKenna and Tilly just went and stayed with for 4 days. They're best friends there in Utah. We live next door to them. We're kind of like behind their backyards. Our backyard's kind of shared. Anyway, so we had an awesome neighborhood, and the kids could walk to some school just for like orchestra in the middle of the day. We could walk to the library, parks. Like it was an awesome setup. So when I was thinking of moving, I knew I couldn't stay there for $3,200 a month. So I'd have to move a completely different neighborhood, poorer side of town, probably completely different. It was too close to Salt Lake. So I'd have to move farther out somewhere else. And I didn't want to have to start over again. Like the reason why we loved Utah was because of our neighbors and our friends and the schools and libraries that were right next to us. So I felt like if we have to start over, I might as well start over someplace where I love to live because I didn't love the weather there. I don't love the freeways, all the congestion, all the people. I really needed space like this. Excellent libraries, but like I said, it wasn't me. It's just not me. And like I said, it wasn't my family anyway. So I just really have always had a dream of having a country house because I grew up in the country and I wanted that same thing for my kids, just to run around and play, and have woods and creeks and all the things. So that is why I didn't stay in Utah. And sometimes I question it. You like the kids are sad, they miss something, and he's like, should I have stayed in Utah? And I was like, I couldn't stay in that house. It was too expensive. And if I had to move, we'd have to start all over with new neighbors and new friends. We probably don't go back to see your old ones that often. I mean, not like, every day where you can just play in the backyards like they used to. And then I would just have to rent again. And then when that rent went up, I'd probably have to find another rent. And it's hard always renting, having landlords and things like that, especially, at my age. So we needed the stability, and I love the weather here. That was the main thing. I love to see green. It's too desert there for me. I love the green, the rain, the gorgeous, the Blue Ridge Mountains. Like it's me. So I love it here. And I had thought of moving to closer to my other family members. I think I mentioned this before, so I'll go through it quickly. Because I would love to say, be by family, because that'd be so awesome. My brothers both have families, and I would love to live by them. One was in Wyoming, and I really considered there. I looked up rental houses. There, it's kind of affordable, but it's just negatives for so long, and I need to play outside all the time. Wyoming, I don't know if I could handle that cold and wind. And then another brother's in Minnesota, and the same thing, cold and windy. He just told me last night that the leaves are just gonna bud, like the very first buds on their trees, and it's May 2nd. So we've had leaves for a long time. Anyway, hopefully, but I'm so glad that my sister Lori did come. After I moved here, she moved 2 hours away. So I'm really happy about that. And my mom will probably move out here close to us too. So that would be great. She is in California, and I had thought about moving over by her because I love that area. I love where I grew up. The main thing was the price of house insurance and taxes are really, really high. And here it's very cheap. It's about $700 a year for my taxes and my house insurance. Maybe $850. I think it's gone up since I moved here. So a year, so it's like I can handle it. That's doable. Out there in California, it's like $4,000 a year because of the wildfires, and so that was the main reason. And I just missed the green. Like I said, I love it raining all summer. But okay. The next question is, hi, is there any reason you homeschool or don't work? If they're in school, you could work. You seem healthy enough to work. Oh, and then this is a longer question. So I'm going to do this one at the very end because I have answered this one before, I'm pretty sure. And then if the people want to turn it off, if they've already heard it, then they can turn it off. And if I run out of time, I might do a whole video on just that because there is a lot to say. And that's like the elephant in the room. Like, why are you working? So that is a really good question. So I'll leave that one to the last. Next time, Marcy, tell us more about your mother, dad, and your childhood. Thanks for the video. Oh, that's so sweet of you to want to know about my mom and dad. So my dad is a twin, and he has an older sister just like 15 months older than him. And he grew up Catholic. And then he met my mom, who was an LDS, belonged to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Her family was not like, didn't go to the temple. But my mom and dad, so my dad joined the Mormon church, and after investigating for a long time and believing that it was right, and got baptized, and then they got married in the temple. So I've always appreciated that they went to the temple, even though neither parents were able to go, and they didn't have many friends going or anything like that. But it was a good example to us, and they've just had a wonderful marriage. They've been great parents. My dad passed away in 2016, right before Tilly was born. So that was really sad. He had prostate cancer. He was a logger for most of my childhood. He built logging roads in the woods, like some extra fire roads. So if there's a fire in the woods or on the mountains, then the fire trucks could get to it. He did that. I loved playing with his work boots when he'd come home from work. Then later he went and worked in Sacramento, like when I was a teenager. He commuted to Sacramento like an hour and a half each way and worked in like an office that did a lot of work with Washington, D.C. And he was kind of a lobbyist helping to get Congress to approve cutting down like just a certain percentage, just like 5% of the dead trees in the forest. Because he thought if you could just clear off some of the dead trees, then there wouldn't be so many wildfires and new growth could start happening. And then, he's always like fighting with the environmentalists who just said you can never touch a dead tree or touch any trees, leave all the woods alone. So I don't know. That's how I understood it as a kid. Maybe I'm a little off, but I think that's what he was doing, was just writing some laws to cut down just a small portion of the dead trees to have less wildfires. Anyway, you probably don't even care about that. My mom stayed home with us. And she cooked from scratch. She sewed our own matching dresses, my sisters and I, for a long time. So there's a boy that's the oldest, and then 4 girls in the middle, and then a boy is the youngest. So there's 6 kids, and I am number 4. So I have 2 older sisters. One is in Hong Kong that Kylie is out helping right now after surgery. And then my sister Misty is in Boise. And it's another place I just did not want to go. Boise's too big and cold and city, not for me, than me. And then my sister Lori, who you've seen on these videos, my vlogs, who was amazing. She's just an amazing aunt, never been married, had kids, but she is just a wonderful aunt to my kids and wonderful best friend for me. And then my younger brother, Brady, in Minnesota. We grew up on 4 acres, and just a lot like what I'm trying to provide for my kids here. We just ran around and played. We had a trampoline, we had a treehouse and zip line that my dad built. He was always doing everything for the house. We poured our own, big patio, and he built our own deck on the house that wasn't there. He did a lot of cookouts. He would grill food for us. We got a boat when I was a teenager, and he would take us boating, just a used boat. He taught us how to water ski and wakeboard and everything, so those are fun family memories. We loved to camp. We loved to sleep outside all summer long. We would put our sleeping bags on the deck and sleep outside, and then in the morning we'd like play school and have like our little notebooks and just play. We rode our bikes around. It was back like a half a mile dirt road. We would ride our bikes around there, mostly just an outside type of childhood, in the country, kind of in the Sierra Nevada mountains. So I don't know what else you want to know, but it was wonderful. We took family vacations every year. For like a week or 2, we would drive and see different historical sites. That's what made me fall in love with places like Mount Rushmore and the Grand Canyon. I love to see the natural sites and the historical sites. We had gone all the way out to DC and seen a lot of sites out there. in just random places like Hershey, Pennsylvania, saw the Hershey factory. We'd seen some mansions, some famous mansions, a lot of forts. My dad really liked to study and have us see the forts, famous people's houses. So we love to travel too. Once a year, my parents would just save up for that, for that big trip. They're very frugal. We always had everything we needed. Taught me all really good money management skills. All my siblings are just excellent money managers. We've always just saved up for what we need. None of us have like credit card debt or anything like that. What else? Just a typical childhood in the 80s. And my mom still lives in that house since my dad's passed away. And so that's last summer, all of us siblings, 6 of us, went out there to help her sell like a lot of my dad's tools and things, because he always fixing the cars, never took them to a car shop. He fixed all the stuff in the house. We re-roofed our house. When I was a teenager, we all helped climb up on the roof and roof our house. So we learned a lot of good hardworking skills, and it was fun. So a lot like what I'm doing here. We all helped plant gardens. We had a small orchard that we helped work in. We had a big field that used to be like a horse pasture before we had moved there, and we'd play baseball out there and soccer and everything. We had a little swing set, so just a great childhood. My parents were very hardworking and helped teach us what is right, to choose the right, and gave us a lot of trust in ourselves that you're going to do awesome things. I trust you to make the right choices, and a bad choice can turn into good if it taught you a good lesson, things like that. Thank you so much for asking that question. That was really sweet of you to care about my childhood, and it's always fun to talk about. I could talk about that and tell lots of stories, but I'll go on to the next question. Would you please do a grocery haul video and maybe some healthy meals you make often? Also, is there a certain way you do your budgeting? So I finally did a grocery haul video just the other day. It probably wasn't that good. I didn't have the confidence of doing one, but I just tried it, put it out there, and now I know how to tweak it and make it better. So I'll probably do another one maybe when all 10 kids are home this summer and show you how I feed a large crew. And I think I'll be having other extended family members coming too. So that could be good. And maybe we'll do a Sam's Club grocery haul video coming up, or just do a better one. I know that one wasn't very good. And then some healthy meals you make often. Yeah, that'd be fun. I should do some healthy meals. I have the 6 kids last summer, I think it was the week of Father's Day, each did a video with 2 meals that they can make on their own. So they're not totally healthy, but they're quick, easy meals. If you're interested in that, you can watch those videos in the meantime. And then sure, I should do a healthy meal video. Also, is there a certain way you do your budgeting? Not too much. So last year, I just did like a zero spending. I really just didn't want to spend any money. And when I spend money, I just use my credit card, and then I can look at my bill online and just see, like the 6 things I bought or whatever. I just like my credit card bill to be very simple with 6 things on it. And I like my bank account to be very simple with just like 4 things on it, like my mortgage taken out and my lights, my cell phone, and it seemed like there was one other thing that's taken out. I'm losing my train of thought, but anyway, I just like them really, really simple. So last year I was trying to just do nothing on my credit card, just like never have to buy any socks or toilet paper or anything, and just use gift cards that I can get for donating blood. And so sometimes I have those. Sometimes we've actually won some at the bookmobile. I've won a $10 gift card. Sometimes people just give them to me for my birthday or Christmas. Or like I'm trying to think if there's any other cashback points that that you can use. And so I'm trying not to like spend any money. And so this year I'm doing a little bit better financially. People have Venmo me money sometimes, and that just like helps so much. So I still just have my typical budget. My mortgage is $11.50, and then our lights have been really cheap since Madeline and Thomas left. And we've just been really trying to like not use our lights until like 8 o'clock at night, and we'll use like 2 or 3 at that time. And then by 10, I'll just go down to 1. Like all the kids are in bed, it's just me, and I'll just try to use one light in the whole house. So our light bill has been only $54 lately, so that's like the cheapest it's ever been since we moved here. And then our gas bill is filled up like once or twice a year, so that's like a yearly expense. I get a little bit of a money, like $400 or $500 to fill it up, and we just have to really scrimp on not using it for our heater or for our water heater. So anyway, I'm just still trying that, but now I have a little bit of extra money, so we have done like a couple of hotel stays. I'm taking Thomas to college I think, right? It was seeing his play when he was in Oklahoma. We spent the night. Like that was kind of a treat. Someone Venmo me some money, so I used that. So I have a little bit of um, extra money and I got my tax return. So I've had a little extra money, and so I'm just using common sense of like what is great, and still trying not to spend anything on like necessities, but use like gift cards or kind of scrimp on those kinds of things. We do have like a stockpile of shampoo. People have sent us shampoo, so we're good with shampoo and some toiletries for now. Always toilet paper. You always need toilet paper, but anyway. So I guess I don't have a good answer for that. Sorry, I don't have a certain way I do my budgeting. I just try not to spend money, and just a few special things that are special for us. And if I get money from anyone or from like my birthday, then I will use that as a special thing. Like I'm hoping to go camping or pedal boating, something fun. The kids have asked to go back. We did that last May with my Mother's Day money. Like my mom gave me $10, and that cost like $8. So I just use kind of set money for certain things like that. Hi, Marcy. I'm wondering if your homeschool path follows the Waldorf method. I know imagination and play are a huge part of their philosophy. Thank you for these Q&As. You're welcome. I don't know a lot about Waldorf. I remember learning, I probably read one book when I first started homeschooling, but I haven't. I've really just done my own thing. I haven't really researched other people's methods. I know there's like a Charlotte Mason. I know there's Waldorf. I know there's a few other Calvert, and it seems like there's a few other ones that I've heard of. And I've just always been confident in what I was doing. I've always just done it. Like I just start doing things. I haven't had a lot of time to research it first, especially when I first started, because we didn't have internet. I just had little kids, and it was just like I just followed their lead. They're interested in birds. We went to the library and got a bird book. We looked at them on walks all the time. We went home and sketched them. I helped them write bird to practice handwriting. So like I am incorporating all these different things when they're interested in birds. Maybe we'd even like make Play-Doh and stamp it out as birds or cookies or something, and then give them to a neighbor. So then you're doing all kinds of things, right? You're like doing some science for bird. You're drawing or writing, doing some handwriting. You even could take notes if they're old enough to say, my favorite bird is. We did some service as we gave bird-shaped cookies to somebody. So I just followed their lead like that. I'm going off on a tangent. So yeah, I don't really know. I did seem like I heard that they don't teach their kids to read till 7 or 8. And I did teach my kids to read really early, like 3 and 4, because I felt like they were ready. And I feel like once kids can read, then they can just learn so much more on their own, because I was always busy with nursing babies and getting kids to go down for a nap, toddlers, fixing food and laundry. And I loved teaching my kids formally. Like we did have some formal lessons and stuff like that, but it was so nice that they could just go and pick up a book on birds or insects and just start reading, or the weather or hurricanes, whatever they're interested in, they could just go pick up and start reading. And so it saved me. I always did like a read aloud book to them, and I read picture books to them, at bedtime and stuff like that. But during and if I was just sitting there nursing, I would always read to my kids. I didn't have an iPhone. I didn't have anything like that. I was always reading to my kids when I nursed. So that helped them learn to read really early too. Most of them picked it up on their own with just a little bit of help from me. So I know I do that. That's different than Waldorf. But yeah, I love imagination and play. I just kind of raised my kids how I grew up. And books. I probably read a lot of books about how important play is for kids. And I might do a whole podcast or video on that, because I really do believe that kids work as play. Otherwise, I just do my own methods, whatever I kind of feel like each child needs. Next question. Does Nathan's side of family help you at all financially with the children and everyday expenses? Yes, they do. When Nathan first stopped sending the child support, I had some savings I lived off of. I got the blogging course and was going through that and starting my blog, picking up a few odd jobs, or at least trying to, and thinking and praying, and just kind of thought jobs would fall in my lap. I thought the door would open. I'd figure out what to do. I thought my blog would take off. I would know how to support my family, and that didn't happen. I was taking a lot of work and a lot of stress. So I don't think I was in a peaceful frame of mind to get help, like from God, because I was a little bit stressed out about it. But anyway, so I went to my bishop for help and counsel, our church leader, and he said, well, I'm getting the money from Nathan. Like he needs to pay you. And, but he's in a mental hospital. We can't contact him or get the money from him. So he did reach out to Nathan's parents, and they called and was like, well, any month you need it, we'll give you $500 a month. We have that in our budget. We're happy to help you. So super duper sweet. So I know I can ask them for help. And for that first year, they were sending $500 almost every month. Unless I got a tax return or some pretty good jobs and stuff like that. Over that summer, I had a really good job. Not really good job, but I had a consistent job. The summers are better because I had the first summer he didn't pay. I had a consistent job at a bakery, and so I didn't need their help. And I could do nature camps over the summer and have more time to work on things without homeschooling the kids. So, and then last summer was great because my YouTube channel did really awesome, so I didn't need his help. And then this year, so far in 2025, has been pretty good. So I haven't needed his help, I don't think, at all. And then I have a tax return now so that I can use that and just keep plugging along. So yes, they're definitely willing to help anytime I ask them to. I've even had one or two siblings just randomly send me, $100 or $200 at first, the beginning when Nathan stopped paying the child support. So that was really sweet of them. So they're all aware of our situation. They're also very supportive, and they do help out with my other kids too. So, because you said with the children and everyday expenses. So yeah, he helps with the everyday expenses and with the children. He has gotten each grandchild of his, no matter which grandchild, a computer when they go off to college. So he's helped my kids also with that, buying them a computer. Thomas didn't need one because his school provided him one. So I know that Nathan's dad just gave Thomas some money to help pay for college because Thomas had to pay a lot out of pocket from his own job. So, yep, they're very helpful with anything we need. Awesome grandparents. Okay, I think that's all I'm going to do right now because the next one is, have you ever thought about being a substitute teacher since you have a 4-year degree? And yes, I have. I even signed up for it. So I want to talk about that one and the reason why I homeschool and why I don't work. I think I want to do those ones both in the same video. So thank you so much for watching. Have a great day and keep the questions coming if you like these, or let me know what other videos you want to do. I have quite a few lined up, but I'm always happy to hear suggestions. Have a great day. Bye-bye.